So, you're completely out? That's true. Well, there's still something to be said for authenticity. I understand. That's alright. Thanks. Bye. All the most delicate parts that could break.
Seek and destroy. The name says it all. You seek out and destroy any building lying between you and your objectives, which you'll also then destroy once you get there. You pilot either the Apache One Chopper or Team Yankee combat tank in a variety of war-torn landscapes to carry out their mission objective and exercise your military prerogative. Most often the latter. The game features an array of environments starting in a desert theme and goes into a blizzard, jungle, and night theme. The game's graphical effects, from the scrolling effect to the explosive shrapnel, are all well done and do a good job to immerse the player into the game. There is no real story to connect each mission together. After every level you are taken back to the briefing hub. Here you are simply given a reason to target something, some military exposition of why it's important, and off you go. Now, before getting too far, let's talk a bit of history.
Now, for a rather simple premise, the history of Seek and Destroy seems to involve crisscrossing timelines with big-name companies getting their start. So bear with me on this one. Safari Software was founded in 1989 with the release of a simple freeware game, Line Wars, for the 286. However, it was not until a few years later that their first official game would be released under Safari's name, including Line Wars 2 and Traffic Department 2192. After developing and releasing a few more games over the years, they started publishing titles developed by other companies, one of which was Seek and Destroy in 1996. During this time, they utilized advertising provided by Epic Mickey Games. Now, Epic Mickey Games, back before being known as the brainchild behind acclaimed hits such as Bulletstorm and the Gears of War series, and shortening their namesake to be more modern, got their start by using the shareware model and doing some teaming up themselves. In fact, just 1 year later, Epic Mickey Games bought out Safari and fully owned their publishing facilities. I suppose teaming up has a different definition in the business world. Now, Seek and Destroy itself was developed by Vision Software, founded in 1990 in South Africa. Information is slightly scarce with these specific devs, unfortunately. However, before Seek and Destroy's release, Electronic Arts, yes, EA, bought and made them one of their many subsidiaries. Vision was, and still is, used as a popular distributor in those regions. Afterwards, Seek and Destroy was sold directly by Epic with the rebranded Safari Software logo. Curiously, though, the disc itself still has the old design. Now, at this point, Epic had Safari as their credited publisher, and Vision likely worked on the game as they were being acquired by EA. But the game was released after they were undeniably part of EA. Now, there's no telling who of the original company was still there at this point. Basically, it seems it's the case of two startup companies jumping on board with two other similar companies, with the latter pair having gained significantly more business power quicker than either of them. After that, the nature of the concrete jungle simply took its course. Now, with that rough mixture of origins, there's hardly time to mention the original from 1993 on the Amiga. The original version was released 3 years prior, having been published by Mindscape instead, though they were bought by EA as well, so I suppose the distinction isn't extremely important now. The style of the two is clearly similar, using the familiar top-down kill-everything perspective.
And the missions have appropriate goals for the player.
Alright, enough is enough. Let us whiplash back into the action.
Now, in order to carry out your one-man army fantasies, you have a sizable arsenal of weapons at your disposal. At the shop, you have to pick up blue ribbon-style medals hidden in certain structures. For your chopper, you have your standard machine guns, which seem to appear and function more as an infinite pea shooter than the 33mm chain guns they are touted to be. Functionally, they serve as your fallback for when your main ammo inevitably deplete later in the game. Next are two different homing missiles. Air-to-ground fires 1 or 2 smart missiles to a ground target, marked by an auto-targeting reticle. With only 100 shots per weapon bay, you will run out fast if you don't pick your targets carefully. They have a fairly large tracking system, but other objects can still get in the way. And they may be overkill for some types of installations and enemies. Air-to-air missiles function like the air-to-ground missiles with the same upgrade design, but are used to destroy enemy choppers instead. They're useful in taking a conservative approach with these respawning pests. Finally, the napalm and airstrike weapons are the caviar and crackers to your bread and butter. They are expensive to upgrade and don't come with much ammo either, but deal heavy damage. The napalm shoots out a quick blast of flame in a direction that destroys anything in its path. It can be upgraded outright star formation. Now, airstrikes deal a large damage over a very large area after 4 seconds, supposedly. I think I want to time it just to see how long it really takes. Yeah, okay, maybe it isn't quite accurate, but at least it destroys pretty much anything that you set it on. Now, when it comes to using the tank, unfortunately it seems its choices are a little more limited, with only 4 weapon bays instead of 6. You have your standard chain guns and shells. However, there is one exception regarding the napalm entry here. Unlike the chopper variant, this shoots out a steady stream of flame as long as you are holding down fire. It ends up sounding more useful than it is, as the range is too short and the damage is too low to justify its frequent use. Special weapons are chosen before each mission, and both crafts have unique ones. The bomb lobs out a massive bomb over a portion of land, hard to aim but very satisfying when it hits. The mega missile fires a rapid-fire dumb missile to devastate a target. My personal favorite is the Super Napalm. It's similar to the regular napalm, but it launches in a cluster of 5, and each stream travels much slower and wider, ensuring everything is enveloped. It doesn't even take up a base slot. The tank has its own set. There is the power shell, which is a slow-moving artillery shell that is guaranteed to rip through any structure no matter what's in its way. Tank's counterpart, ground-to-air, has been moved from the shop to this section, which does exactly what it says. It fires a homing missile from the tank to take care of those even harder to hit choppers. Finally, there is the mine, which acts as a non-mobile bomb. They do, however, tend to bug out randomly, just like this. That's a missile, not a mine. And yes, after this point the game soon crashes. That's one way to fail a mission. And don't worry, emulators wouldn't be the culprit. This would happen back while running it natively. So as for the stats of these two vehicles, the chopper generally moves quickly over obstacles and has decent fuel capacity. It has light to moderate armor, but that's why you're able to fly. As for the tank, well, there's a reason why your chopper goes out of commission a few times during the game. The tank has decent fuel capacity with strong armor, however it's quite slow and despite being a tank, can't ram through anything. Seriously, you can destroy some buildings with one bullet, but the tank literally bounces off of it? Well, at least you can run over the little guy shooting at you. That'll teach him to stand out in the open. Still, why can't I drive over this thumbtack thing? It's acting as if I'm riding a bicycle, not a tank. Due to its slow speed and ramming power, trust me, you will need to use good foresight when driving it, otherwise you will get yourself killed. Now, beyond their unique weapons and specifications, each one has a notable ability that will prove invaluable in gameplay. The tank is capable of moving its turret around and aiming at targets that way without having to change its movement very much. However, the chopper is able to strafe, which is a very important ability in order to dodge projectiles coming at you. Not all missions involve wanton destruction. Some missions have you sabotage installations or rescue POWs from buildings which just promptly explode anyway. Besides the shop, there is a weapon loadout screen where you can equip your weapons, adjust your craft stats, and change your special weapon. Your chain gun is always equipped no matter what, while you can customize the other 5 weapon bays, or 3 for the tank. Each bay will load an additional ammo for a particular gun, and you will need to choose wisely. Many times at the end of a long mission, all you are left with is just your chain guns, so you actually cripple yourself by loading your craft down with every single different weapon, especially endgame ones with high damage but low ammo, such as the napalm and airstrike. Unfortunately, this is one of the more glaring issues this game has in regards to balance. The problem I have with balance in this game is that sometimes you end up having a lot of plentiful ammo and power-ups. Other times it's like this, where you're just stuck by the skin of your teeth. There is a difficulty setting to balance out the game. Easy is standard gameplay. Medium requires the player to land every time they want to pick up the shop medals. On hard, you have to manually slow your craft every time you want to land, or you will crash instead. While it does improve the damage of the AI, I feel anyone's main complaint would be that it takes a few select areas of gameplay highly tedious while not even touching others. At least the landing issues don't apply to your tank, but then that would be just adding insult to injury. Don't get me wrong though, in the end it is still a very nice and well-made game, and a classic from the mid-90s era. It is full of action and close calls, and if you don't believe me, just look at some of the following footage here. Now, what self-respecting arcade shooter wouldn't contain a decent handful of cheat codes? And, fortunately, this game has a few. To enter level select, hold left shift, left alt, and left control right after selecting new game or resume, and you will see the mission or chapter select screen. On a similar note, while at the mission briefing, or the phase screen, type in Gimme, and you'll be given access to hidden buttons to select any phase of that current mission that you want. Finally, in the shop, you can get away with all the weapons for free by typing in Capo. Now you can wreak total havoc while putting all the arms dealers out of business. To receive 900 of each weapon type, hold down the letters AMO. It also works on your special weapons, which pretty much means you can get ready to set the world on fire with 900 super napalms in your arsenal. To fully upgrade your weapons, hold down the letters for Mega. Interestingly enough, this also works on a few different special weapons, including the Mega Missiles, which apparently can support an upgrade, but never was implemented in the final game. To make every enemy and building as weak as one hit point, hold down the keys DETH. Now you can destroy everything with one machine gun bullet. Now that's overkill. Finally, to make your chopper near invincible, hold down the keys for life.
Well, it seems our adventure is coming to an end. It's a shame they couldn't add more arcade elements in this though, like ray guns, laser beams, or gravity cannons, or something like that. Instead, they decided to go for just a general top-down military shooter that takes place in a repainted desert about 5 times. And it's as realistic as it can generally get in 1996. Still, I would consider giving this game a shot. I mean, it's a classic that can take you about 2 or 3 hours to beat, and I had fun when I played it in my childhood. I mean, it's worth the price of admission. Speaking of, I'm holding here the original printout from 2002 of the Epic Classics order form, and here you can order games such as Jazz Jack Rabbit, their pinball series, and Seek and Destroy. Unfortunately, I checked on the website and it doesn't seem to exist anymore. Epic Classics is down and there's nothing there on the website now to order. Now you just have to resort to Good Old Games or eBay if you want to get your hands on this classic. And hopefully, eventually it'll appear up on GOG and you can buy it there. Now in the meantime, I think I'll indulge in our helicopter fantasies here. And break out the manual and see how it works. Alright, let's see here. Alright. And let's see, that would be clutch throttle. And let's see. How do we man the cannons? Oh, okay, so you rescue people. Well, I guess that works too. I mean, hey, that's what you did in the other game, right? Only things probably don't blow up as much. Let's give it a shot. Alright, let's do this and rescue some people. Didn't sound as compelling as blowing people up, but it'll have to do. That was a close call. Oh, hands on controls. Alright, mission accomplished. Let's go. Touchdown, yes. Okay, deep breath, clear fears, hit enter. Ceekur here, and I hope you enjoyed my first video of this type. For my next videos, I aim to do more classic reviews, and you'll probably see other favorites such as Death Rally or Space Hulk coming up. Thanks for watching, and until then, I'll see you in time for the next one.